So Houston moved back into the number 1 spot this past week in the top 25 in the men's poll. It's the fifth week this season that the Cougars have been at number 1. We've also seen North Carolina. They started out the year at number 1, not so much anymore. We've had Purdue, we've had Alabama holding that 1 spot for various times this season. So it feels to me like it's another year where, there's no clear cut like favorite out there. So as of today, and obviously we are closing in on March, who would y'all's teams be that would be kind of that most likely to cut down the nets team? And what are the odds that team comes out of the Big 12 for the 3rd straight year? Kelly, I'll start with you.
Man, I love that Houston team. Having covered the American for several years and seeing them up close, like this is Kelvin Sampson's best team there. I think that they have everything they need. I think it's a tough, gritty team. Like it always is, always going to be exceptionally good rebounding team. They do the little things. I do have some concern about, coming out of the American and maybe not being challenged as much there as, you look at Purdue and literally everyone in the Big 12. I feel like they're maybe more equipped for a deep run, but it's hard to count out Kelvin Sampson. So, any chance there's like just doing the poll each week when I'm like weighing Houston another team, like I tend to give the edge to Houston. I just feel like they're a very complete team. They beat Oral Roberts by like 40 points and Oral Roberts is a great team. It's just they're the American being down this year. I don't think that's helping Houston in terms of preparation, but I really like Purdue. I really like Kansas and Baylor and Texas. You could go down the list, Kansas State, Iowa State, you could go down the list in the Big 12. So really any of those Big 12 teams, I feel like they are going to have a chance once you get to the tournament.
John Boyd?
I agree with Kelly. I think Houston's got a great team. They've got a lot of great postseason experience the last couple of years. And like she said, they're a heck of a rebounding team. And they play good defense. They're really athletic. Guys like Marcus Sasser, Darius Walker, Juwan Roberts, just very talented guys. I think they've got a pretty good bench. Then as far as the other teams, I think Alabama's just got too many off-field issues.
Yeah,
I think that's going to sink them. There's just too many bad vibes going around that program. I think Kansas has a shot again, but I just don't think their bench is deep enough. If Grady Dick or Jalen Wilson is off a night, I don't think they have the bench to cover them this year. Purdue, they probably have the player of the year in Zach Edey, 7'4" guy, has had a great year. I don't think they have the guards, though, to stack up to some teams. I think UCLA is a really good team. As far as Baylor, they just do not play good enough defense, I think, to get, they might could get to a Final Four if a lot of breaks went their way, and they obviously have great shooters, but boy, their defense I don't know, it might be the worst I've seen Scott have in, I would say, at least 5 years or something like that, or maybe longer, probably since that 18 team. But I'm going with Kelly on Houston. I just like that team.
If Houston wins, can the Big 12 claim them? I mean, they're going to be in the Big 12 soon enough.
Right.
I think that just makes that's going to make the Big 12 just such a loaded conference. I mean, to think about what it is now and bringing Houston and the other new members, they all bring something, but bringing Houston, oh my gosh, that's just going to make it just a lot.
That's a stack conference. Yeah,
no doubt. So as y'all see, of course, I have Rockets pennants behind me, and I do have some Houston connections. I went my first 4 years of school in Houston. I don't really have much connection with U of H other than I love Akeem the Dream and Clyde the Glide and those Fly Slamma Jamma teams. And so I personally, for nostalgia's sake, would love to see Houston kind of take it home. And Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. I also read a column just this morning from an old Houston sports writer, John Lopez, who talked about the Final Four being in Houston this year.
Yeah.
And the potential of, 4 Texas teams potentially getting there. Like, obviously the Longhorns are pretty good. Baylor is good, as John says, has some problems on defense, but they're still a top 10 team in the country, or they were probably until the next poll. And A&M's not bad this year. So that would be interesting. I mean, you think of Texas as king football state, but really it's been basketball that's kind of been holding the banner up in this state.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Houston to get to the Final Four, but I feel like that's realistic. I think that they have what it takes. You just have to have everything go right. Like, you think it's going to happen, and then how many times does it just not happen for teams that you're like, oh no, they'll be there. I mean, I would love to see them get to that stage and see what that's like for them to be playing in Houston.
Right. Well, I'm sure after like the first weekend, we'll all take our brackets and we'll just, do that, because that's what'll happen. That's March. So